Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah.
The views expressed by J. Michael McCoy are the views of the hosts and guests of Max World Live, and not necessarily the views of Webcast One Live, its staff, its management, the cleaning crew, Dave the electric guy, the guy who cleans the skywalk, the woman who brought in the cookies, the management staff of Hubble Real Estate, the parking lot attendant at Keck Parking, the wait staff over at Miss Kitty's, the coffee crew at Frederick's, the man in the street corner willing to work for food, Rob Spearman, Max Crabb, or anyone else of sound mind. Should you be offended, provoked, intimidated, shocked, confused, or just made to think independently, log on to MaxWorldLive.com right now. It's your voice we want to hear in Max World. And now, live from the palatial studios of Webcast One Live, your host, J. Michael McCoy.
All right, 4 minutes after the hour on this, the 27th day of January in the Lord's year 2015. I'm J. Michael McCoy. It's a Tuesday. That means Tom Coates is in. If you've been on a beach, you look brown.
I've been doing different things, Mac. I apologize. I think one time I was sick. Another time I was up in Ames talking to an honors class at ISU, and so I've been missing. I feel like I've missed out here.
Well, you missed a good interview with Miss King.
I'm really sorry about that. That was last week when I was up in Ames, and I couldn't get out of that.
And so she was real candorish. She was really
Candid?
Truthful.
You're very.
We
very
talked about
forthright.
racism a little, and she was totally embarrassed by what had happened down in Ferguson and in St. Louis. She said there's no way my uncle would have ever allowed anything like that.
Yeah,
but it was a good interview.
Organized violence and social disruption, and perpetrated by the guy in the highest office in the land.
Yep.
And his minion in the Justice Department.
Well, a little later, we're going to talk about the Freedom Summit that was carried on here, but the first segment is going to be taken up by a man by the name of John Septer, and John reached out to me. How did you find me?
Through...
Didn't you call somebody?
Through the church. Through
the church.
Yeah.
You asked, yeah, that's right.
The pastor, yeah.
You asked a political question, and he switched you to me.
Exactly.
Punishment.
He told me you were the highest man in the state.
Yeah,
the the go-to man here.
Yeah,
right.
The go-to man.
Was that Householder?
Yes.
I'm going to get him. He did that. But anyway, John has a very unique perspective on how we should elect the next president. Yes, he's conservative. Yes, he's Christian. But I want you to listen to this, because I don't, Tom, you're older than I am by leagues. I'm not sure if this has ever been attempted before.
I don't believe it has.
Or talked about.
I don't believe it's been attempted or talked about. But last December, I was a traveling construction superintendent, and I was in the great state of Louisiana, Slidell, Louisiana, doing a project before I moved on to Tustin, California. And I was able to spend some time actually talking with local Louisianans and how they felt about Bobby Jindal. And they loved Bobby Jindal. And at the same time, I'm thinking to myself and to the Lord, for a few weeks, over a few weeks, how can I help? What can we do here? What could really be a plan? What could really say this is how to do it? And it's always been in my mind how the Democrats have kind of taken over social media and have kind of taken over the message, delivering a message, right or wrong. You know, they're delivering a message, and as long as the people hear it, they believe it. You know, and so how could we do this? So it was a lot of questions going around in my mind. How could we do this? And all of a sudden, I just felt the Lord speaking to me, saying, well, first off, I think we need to start with Bobby Jindal. And I'm like, okay. And then the Lord was like, but we're not going to stop there. Let's put the cabinet together first and let the cabinet go out with him and let the entire cabinet campaign on why this administration should work. Where we go through an election cycle, we choose a president, the president vets and chooses his vice president. Then by the time, before they ever even get into office, they have to have a year just to plan on what they're going to do. Let's start out differently. Let's make a real plan with a real change. How do we change America? Real hope and change. Not
Has
just
anybody ever
hope
done
and
that
change.
that you know of?
No. No, I think they have announced certain cabinet positions, but not an entire cabinet that I'm aware of.
I never found it. I never found it. So I started saying, okay, Lord, well then tell me what's the direction here, and I started kind of in my time researching on the internet while I'm away from my home, sitting in hotel rooms, looking up people, looking up political people. Who could it be? Who could it be? I found a wonderful vice president, Susana Martinez, who is now the governor of New Mexico, who has a great track record. Okay, she'd make a fabulous. And what is she going to bring? The bottom line to this is the people. What are they going to bring to it? What are they going to bring to this? Not just what's your name, what people are you going to bring to it, but what are you specifically going to bring to it? That was the real crux of it, and I liked her.
So you think she'll help with the Latino community?
I think
women?
Absolutely she'd help with the Latino community.
Women and Latinos, okay.
Women
and
and
I think I've
Latinos.
heard that said about her. They think that she would. Some people are very concerned that we balance off the Republican Party and make it more appealing to some of the groups that we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Young, female, the Latinos.
Yes.
We've pretty much lost the black
And
segment.
I
Over
work,
90% of them are gone.
Understand that as a construction superintendent, I have built in Iowa, Florida, Texas, Georgia, California. I've worked with hundreds of Latinos, and none of them I know are supporting the Democrats, legal or illegal. They know the difference. They know the difference because they've lived on the other side of the border, and they want nothing to do with that. Then I started really going through. What I did was I pulled up Obama's cabinet. It's hard for me to say president. I'm sorry, but it is. And I started looking at the different positions. Let's take Secretary of Treasury. We have had very unqualified people in these positions for the last 9 years.
So who's the treasurer?
In my opinion, the Treasury Secretary should be Mike Huckabee. Why? Because he did a great job with the state of Arkansas, which my wife and I lived in for 9 years.
Yes.
Who do you think ought to be our representative across the globe?
For
Secretary of State.
Secretary of the State, Sarah Palin.
Oh my gosh.
For Secretary of Defense, Colonel Allen West. My best pick for HHS is Dr. Ben Carson. The reason these started coming to me like this is because two criteria. One, if we take these very serious areas, president, vice president, treasury, and State Department, we have former leadership proven governors, ex-governors running these departments, not bureaucrats.
Yes, sir.
We have true leaders running these departments. As far as the HH, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, I love Ben Carson.
Oh, I thought you said he was Oh, okay.
No, yeah, Department of Health and Human Services.
Is Ben all right?
Ben's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. Where is he best needed? In the White House as president? I don't know if that's his calling. I don't know if that's what the Lord's calling him to
think
do.
he'll make that, yeah.
But what an impact he could make in true healthcare reform and true healthcare leadership. Alan West speaks for himself on his military career. What greater man to have as the Secretary of our Defense. And to be perfectly honest, Secretary of Agriculture, I think we got a great guy right here that I've researched a bit called Bill Northey, correct?
He's our Secretary of
he's
State
our-
here in the state of Iowa.
Yeah, he's the
Secretary
Secretary
of
of
Agriculture,
Agriculture here in the state of Iowa. You know, why take it out of Iowa? Let's take him with us, you know. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, a fine man. His name's Dr. Robert Armstrong. He's out of Texas. He was a physician too, but he was also the co-chair of the Texas Republican Party, working in politics, working for change, working in that area. Put people who have some type of leadership skill in that instead of putting minions, as you put it earlier.
Yes, minions is a good term, and you know that this particular administration has people that have virtually no private enterprise experience. They have no business experience. This is the worst administration. I mean, far worse even than Carter or Clinton's administration.
There's never been an administration like this in the history of our
anything is going to be an improvement over this bunch.
Correct. But, here's the biggest thing of all of it, is that, first and foremost, each one of these are Christians. Now, Mac and I, when we first talked about this 3 weeks ago, and we talked about the one thing that would stand in the way of all of this, which is that ill-fated word called ego, which we both agree edges God out. But if we can get these people in a room and explain to them, because I believe without a doubt that the Lord gave me this vision, not just because, hey, this is some grand scheme of an idea, but I firmly believe it's something that he wants to do. And he's given me what to say to each one of these if I see them in person, to say, why do this?
Did you pick anybody for Homeland Security?
I kind of left that one open. I didn't yet because I just, I would think that actually Alan West would probably be a good guy to actually then, if you get these top guys, these are top guys. Most of them in the real administrative jobs are going to be the former governors, people that truly know how to get things done.
All right, Jeb Bush is a former governor. You don't have him there. Chris Christie is a current governor. You don't have him there.
Well,
Romney,
former governor. You don't have him there.
I don't. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't feel that. I'm trying to actually just what do I believe the Spirit is telling me, and kind of right now this is as far as it got. Now, we did talk about Jeb Bush as a possibility, but Jeb Bush might want the presidency himself.
Well, a lot of those people that you just mentioned, John, want the presidency. I mean, Sarah Palin was in town saying that she's taking a serious idea. Ben Carson was in town.
Yes.
Mike Huckabee has written a book,
Correct.
and he's quit Fox News show that he had, so he can take a run. I mean, most of those people that you mentioned on there have at least expressed some interest in running for the presidency. So,
correct.
I mean, you can't.
But
go ahead.
Is that where the Lord's really going to lead him? Whereas if we believe from Kings that the hearts of the kings are in Jehovah's hands, then who does he want in there? That's number one. Who has the real chance to get in there? And the real message that I believe Jindal, that I believe Martinez, that I believe West, and that I believe Dr. Carson can bring, just as we talked a minute ago about Ms. King, the racism, which just totally drives me crazy, because I don't believe in racism. I believe there's only one race on this planet, and that's the human race. What we have outside of that is bigotry. That's the word we're not talking about. And I believe that these people can take that myth of racism and put it where it belongs. Watch any football game, baseball game. Watch the Super Bowl this weekend and watch how whites and blacks and everybody in there relate to each other. They cheer each other. They hug each other. It's not there. It's only there in the political arena.
John Septer has been our guest for this first segment. John, I appreciate you coming in. What a unique idea. We'll have to throw... who I want to talk to about this is Gross.
Doug? Okay.
I'd like to see why something like this wouldn't be just different enough.
Announce up front your cabinet.
Yeah. John,
I
thanks for
think
coming
it's a
in.
good idea.
Absolutely.
God
Anytime.
bless. Appreciate it. Hope you get well. You feeling better?
Was I feeling bad?
Oh, I thought you had the flu or something. No?
No, I there was a couple of days I was down, but I haven't gotten none of those bugs. I hope you get feeling better with your finger.
Thanks. We're coming back on The Truth. Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places, especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart, and it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
All right, welcome back. 21 minutes past the hour, and we are live here on The Truth 99.3 with Tom Coates. Before we get to the how did the potential 2016 candidates do in the family forum last weekend, I've got to you got to put your headphones on,
Okay.
because this is the announcement from my church about we have a Super Bowl, but it's not super as in SUPER, it's super as in soup.
Okay.
And our goal over this coming weekend, Super Bowl weekend, is to fill every food pantry in Central Iowa.
Oh, I was in your service Sunday night, was in there, and I heard him say that.
Okay, well, there's a new All-Star promo out. And if you look carefully, you'll see the ugliest man you've ever seen in this video. So, Ryan, let's roll this video.
All right.
Ugly guy.
On the
Leave
frozen
my mic
winter
on.
tundra they gathered, poised to defeat their opponent. As the cold winter months came, shortages set in. The bare shelves of local food pantries beckoned, but who would answer the call?
You ready? It's
They sought far and wide for the
Taping the
tools to
finger right there,
conquer
were
this
you?
foe.
man.
In order to be victorious, they would need meals, fresh meals. As they took the field, the rally cry rang out. Would these seasoned veterans have one more in the tank?
One more time.
If those beans are expired, so are the hopes for a winning season.
Oh my gosh.
This was the season. The players were in place. One team with a thirst to beat hunger. This is Super Bowl 2015. This is Lutheran Church of Hope.
Now, you got to admit, and I don't know who voiced it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who voiced it. It wasn't me.
No, obviously it wasn't you.
What do you mean it obviously wasn't
Well,
me?
your voice very distinctive. That wasn't you.
Oh, but it sounds like the guy that does the NFL films.
Yeah, yeah.
From the frozen tundra.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, my question is, was that a deflated can?
Oh, my. Bill Belichick, that poor man. All right, so you didn't go to the thing, right?
I did not. No,
The
I did not.
Saturday Freedom Summit. I didn't either. I'll be honest with you. I can't do these things. I'll just watch
Yes.
I'll watch every one of these speeches, but I'll do it on my time on YouTube. But let's go through some of the list and thumbs up or thumbs down as to whether this person should be, and here's the question, a legitimate presidential candidate,
Okay.
not president.
I understand.
Do these people have the cred, the street cred, in the Republican Party or in the American people to say, I think I qualify to be president? Now,
Okay.
obviously, that bar has been greatly lowered since Obama got in.
Yeah.
We don't even know what it takes to qualify to be president anymore. Citizen? Well, we're not sure. How'd they do in college? Well, you can't look. Well, if they don't tell the truth, is there a consequence? Yeah, you elect them again. Did you hear the latest on that? Oh, gosh darn it. The guy who Obama rescued, Bo
Bergdahl?
Yeah.
He's now going to be tried as a deserter.
Yes.
Yeah, we knew at the time, Mac, they came out and said he voluntarily walked away from post. The question was not whether he deserted, but whether he consorted with the enemy. There's still speculation that he actually aided and abetted the enemy. And it was just an excuse to put out 5 of the worst terrorists that we've got. He can't close Guantanamo, but he's seeking to make it an empty vessel.
But he promised he'd close it.
And by the time he gets around to it, all the worst ones will be gone, and they'll only have some little peons in there because the worst terrorists he's releasing. I mean, the week that Paris got there attacked by the Islamists, he released 5 more terrorists going back to the very country that the act of terrorism originated in. That's a sticking a you talking about sticking a finger in somebody's eye.
And then he didn't show up.
And then he wants to stay home and watch football that weekend. He doesn't go to Paris. I mean, this man is beyond an embarrassment to us, Mac. He really is. No qualifications and an agenda that is as anti-American as any I can imagine.
Well, there's somebody who really agrees with you. He's the head of your fan club. Put on your headphones because the voice, Frank, is on the phone. Frank, how are you?
Good. I'm over here sorting through the applications for the Tom Coates fan club.
How many are there?
Oh, there's thousands.
Thousands. If you'd like to submit your application for the Tom Coates fan club, please send your application to... All right, go ahead, Frankie.
Well, Tom, what do you think about this next guy in line thing that we keep failing at? And does it dismay you as much as it dismays me that we're going to try to recycle Huckabee, Santorum, and Romney again?
Well, Frank, Mac started to give us a list of the ones that spoke and who would be a legitimate candidate. Why don't you stay on the line, and Mac, why don't you complete your thought and go down through there, and let's see what Frank thinks also.
All right, Frank, tell me now, the question is, are they qualified to be president? Not that you think they could be. Are they qualified, okay?
Sure.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Rick Perry.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
You too? Okay. Yeah. Rick Santorum.
He may be qualified, but I'm just going to have to go thumbs down on him.
Okay.
I think he's a qualified candidate. Now, whether he's not. You're not asking about whether this is our choice for president.
Yeah, Frank answered that one wrong.
Yeah, I think this is a qualified candidate.
No, I said qualified, but I just don't think he's.
All right. Well, let's get with the program here. We're trying to decide not if this is your choice for president. This is a qualified candidate. Okay, go ahead, Mac.
Mike Huckabee.
Qualified.
Qualified.
Ted Cruz.
Qualified.
Qualified.
Chris Christie.
Qualified.
Qualified. Again, we're not given our choice for...
We'll go back through the list on choice.
Okay.
Carly, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Fanori. She is the former Hewlett-Packard CEO.
Qualified.
No.
Inexperienced, but qualified.
No.
Scott Walker.
Qualified.
Scott Walker is very qualified, yeah.
Ben Carson.
Qualified.
No.
Donald Trump.
Probably not.
No.
Sarah Palin.
Qualified.
Qualified.
All right, now let's go through and pick out the ones that you think you'd... What would be the question, Tom, that you'd vote for?
Now we're talking about who we think would make a very appealing candidate, not only for the state of Iowa, but for the rest of the country as a Republican candidate. And we don't have to give our very top, but who we're going to then weed out the ones that we think are clinkers that will not make it even into a final five or something, okay?
All right. You got that, Frank?
Yeah.
All right, Rick Perry.
Now, am I supposed to say whether I think he is my pick for president?
No. Let's go if you think he would make, let's say a final. Let's say we come down to a final five. Can he make the top five in the not only in Iowa but also the rest of the country? Yeah, I think he would too. Yes, I put up on him.
All right. How about Rick Santorum?
No.
No.
How come no? Is he too far right?
No. Part of me, I don't know about Frank, part of me says that I would like a governor and administrator. Santorum has taken a run at. He wasn't successful. He was a senator for a period of time. I don't think he makes the final five.
I feel the same way.
Go ahead.
All right. Mike Huckabee.
I don't think he can make the final five.
I'm going to give him a close yes on that.
Frank, I got to ask, why do you think not?
Well, because because there's just not enough oxygen in the room. You're going to have three givens. You're going to have a Chris Christie, Jeb Bush. You're going to have a Ted Cruz, and you're going to have a Rand Paul. So that's going to take up three spaces in the oxygen in the room. So if you got a top five, you're looking for about two more.
All right. Yeah, and you're right. There's three or four names that are not on this list, Frank, and if we did that, we might have to expand it to maybe the top 8. Let's go for the top 5 on what are listed here.
Okay.
All right. Ted Cruz.
Yes, I think he could make the top 5.
I'm going to say no.
Austin Goolsbee, who is a radical leftist, says do not underestimate Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I like Ted Cruz. I just don't think he makes the top 5, but maybe he does.
Chris Christie.
That depends on how him and Jeb Bush fight out for, I would say, the establishment, but it'll be one of those two.
Well, no, I would throw in a third name. I think Romney. I don't think there's enough room for the three of them.
Well, I agree. I'll throw in Romney.
I think Romney, and I've said this, and Bush and Christie fight it out for that moderate, and I don't think there's nearly enough oxygen in the room for all three of them.
I agree 100% with you there.
Again, I apologize. Carney Fiora.
No.
Scott Walker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy, that was quick.
I like Scott Walker. I like what he's done, and I told you I'm trying to maneuver to get him on the show here, Mike.
I think Tom will agree with this, but he's the guy that could thread the needle between the conservative Christian and the libertarian, and I think he would be digestible to the establishment.
Well, here's something interesting that Jennifer Jacobs at the Register said. This is about Walker. He consummated the belief that he's serious about running, and he seemed to emerge as the number 2 on Huckabee, Jeb Bush, and Mitt Romney supporters in attendance.
Yes, I saw that, and I do know, again, I was contacted yesterday by a member of his staff that was just put on recently. He is now hiring people to go on the staff to run for president. So I think he is very serious, and I've always been impressed when I've seen him stand tall over there in what is a labor union Democrat state under some of the most withering fire imaginable. You got to respect that. So I'd say a thumbs up on him.
Amen, Tom. And I'd say that I'd echo the same sentiments, that he took on the public employees unions over there, and not only did he beat them, but he increased his vote the second time around, and everything they've thrown at him but the kitchen sink, he stood up to it. So I think he's tested and weathered.
Right, and he turned thumbs down on a casino proposal up in Menominee just Friday, and that was why I actually did a TV interview for the CBS affiliate and a radio interview up there on Friday because of his turn down, and so that's part of the reason they reached out to me.
All right, real quick, we have 60 seconds. Ben Carson.
No.
But a good VP pick.
Donald Trump.
No.
No, he's doing it for PR.
Sarah Palin.
No.
No.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Frank, I appreciate you jumping in on the phone. Now, we're supposed to have a guest come in and talk about a local Iowa community, but I don't think anybody's come in yet.
I'll hang out and make sure. If he comes in, Mac, I'll take off. Otherwise, I'll hang around.
Well, I want Frank to hang on because I want to throw Bush, Romney, and Chris. No, not Chris Christie. Who's the other one?
Here comes somebody.
Okay. We'll talk about that when we come back. Live here. Frank, you hold on, okay? Coming back live here on The Truth. This is 99.3, powered by webcast1live.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fix them problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, We have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
All right, we're back. 22 minutes before the hour. You're going to meet a fine young man from Marengo in just a minute who's going to do something really positive for his community. But before we get to Mr. Jorgensen, did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Jorgensen. Frank, jump back on the phone. All right, now, I'm going to name these people off, and I want you to pick 2. And you don't have to say whether they're the president or the vice president, but 2 that you would want to see on the top of that ticket. Are you with me, Frank?
Yeah.
You know, 1, 2. Okay? Rick Perry.
No.
No, but he's close.
Tom, I said 2. 2 plus a little isn't 2.
I know.
Rick Santorum.
No.
No.
Huckabee.
No.
No.
Why are you so quick to say no on Huckabee, Frank?
Because we've been there, we've done that, and I think we need fresh blood in the party, and I've got my top 5 if you want to hear my top 5.
No, I want to hear your top 2, and the next one is Ted Cruz.
2.
No.
But did Frank say no?
No, he said 2. He's in the top 2. He thinks that Ted Cruz is in the top 2. He's not my top 2. That's right.
Chris Christie.
No.
No.
Sarah Palin.
No.
Donald Trump.
No.
Ben Carson.
No.
Scott Walker.
Yes. 1.
Yes.
So, Tom, you got one to pick yet.
Well, yeah.
Romney. Over Jeb Bush.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody over Romney?
No. No, I go with Scott Walker 1 and Mitt Romney 2.
Or would you say Romney president, Walker VP?
No, I wouldn't. No, I really wouldn't.
You think Mitt Romney would take the VP
I
slot?
don't know what he would do. And I'm not sure that that's the best choice right now, but and I don't like the way that, I mean, at that summit, Donald Trump was there for public relations purposes, and I understand that.
Right.
But he did say, and I did feel that there was a certain choking going on. There was a prevent defense being played by Romney that cost us the election in 12. And that was unfortunate. But I guess some of the time that you and I spent with him, I do think he's got a lot to offer. And
yeah, you and I have an advantage. We've interviewed him several times. He's been in both of our homes.
Yeah.
You
so
know.
I will admit to some prejudice in that regard. I do think that Scott Walker might give us the best shot, and I'm not as down on Huckabee. I think Huckabee offers more than to a lot of people than what Frank is saying. I think there's more there than easily dismissed.
I love Huckabee, and I think he'd be a great president. My fear is he won't sell in the Northeast, and he won't sell in the West.
Can I give you my top 5?
Sure.
Okay, I won't name them in order, but the top 5 will be Cruz, Paul, Bush, Walker, Perry.
You don't even put Romney in the top 5?
Well, if 6 million Christians didn't vote for him the last time, I don't know what would motivate the 6 million to get off their rear and vote for him this time. So
we just have to keep Steve Dace quiet. That would help. All right, Frank, I'm letting you go. Thanks for being here. Tom, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We're going to do a little community service work now. I want to introduce you to John Jorgensen.
Jeff.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my last
That's
guest.
okay, Steve. Don't worry about it.
My last guest was John. Sorry. Jeff Jorgensen. But say your last name, because you say it differently.
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen.
Yeah.
Because that's Norwegian?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, say it again.
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen. I bet I don't say that right one time, but
That's
I'm going to
okay.
write it down. I am
Jorgensen works.
Jorgensen. And you are from the great Iowa city of Marengo.
Correct.
Is that where you're born and raised?
No, born and raised in Newton, Iowa.
Newton. I love Newton. Newton's a great town.
Yes.
And so how long have you lived in Marengo?
We moved there last year. I'd moved up, actually. I'd been in Minnesota for 15 years and just moved back last summer.
Okay, well, welcome back. We're glad to have you. And so you're doing a GoFundMe.
Correct.
For Marengo.
Yes.
Now, for those of you that don't know what GoFundMe is, I believe you can go to GoFundMe.com, and there are all these campaigns. Everything from Christian artists who need money to get together an album, to a woman trying to save her child from cancer, to a community such as yours trying to raise money for the community.
Yes.
And they're very unique. They're very unique because they don't you set an amount you want?
Yes.
And so you know how much they want, and you can check at any time to see how it's coming. Now, tell me where Marengo is.
It is triangulated. It is south and west of Cedar Rapids or north and west of Iowa City.
Okay, so it's between Iowa City and Cedar Rapids.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a big Iowa State fan, I take it.
Of course.
Okay. That was a joke. He smiled, and so did I. So how many people in Marengo?
2,500 plus or minus. 2,501 now that I'm there.
Farming community?
Yes.
Okay. And what does your community need that you've decided to put together this GoFundMe?
Money.
Okay. Is
That's
it
the
just
short version.
general budget reasons?
No, it's really not for the city fund, right? It's for private business in the community. And there was a major business that recently closed down a little over a year ago, Quad Graphics, right?
Okay.
That was the major benefactor for the town, the major employer.
Okay.
They closed down, laid off a ton of people, and things have cascaded downhill sort of since then, right? You see that typically in a community.
Yeah.
Where a number of other businesses that were supportive businesses have closed down, including all but one of the remaining restaurants have closed.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that when a corporation, and let's say some type of a manufacturing company, even if it's an intellectual property, and I think I can probably walk you through this fairly easily, but if you've got a manufacturing plant in a community, they use insurance agencies. They use copying machines. They have cafeteria services, pop machines. They have a certain amount of employees that work there and are going to live there, and they're going to buy their cars there, and they're going to get their cars fixed there, and they're going to eat dinner and lunch and breakfast there. And when all of a sudden that manufacturing plant shuts down, it is a row of dominoes. Little by little by little, all these supporting businesses. I mean, if you've got a manufacturer in a town the size of 2,500, how many did they employ?
You know, I don't know the exact number, but somewhere around 600 people.
All right. Wow. That's 25% of the community is now out of work. And they say for every person that's out of work, it affects three more people. So that's your whole community. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Did they move someplace else or?
My understanding is they were purchased by another outfit outside of the county and then relocated somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else. All right. All right. So when we come back, Jeff Jorgensen. How'd I do, huh?
Perfect.
Very good. There you go. Ryan, did you see that? I did like a Norwegian thing. My wife would be proud. When we come back, Jeff and I are going to talk a little bit about what Marengo is and why it's worth $1 or $2 or $5 or $10 or $100 or whatever the Lord puts on your heart to share with this community. He's going to put his case on, and he's going to put it on well. I just have a feeling. He looks like a sharp guy, and he's going to do that when we come back. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job. I've been doing radio for 41 years, and I've done some really cool things, and I've done some real stupid things. But over the time, I've never been able to serve the Lord the way he allows me to serve him here, and it is my favorite job. And I've said, thanks for listening. I love my job, and I couldn't do it without you for years. I've said it for 30-some years, but I don't think I've ever meant it as much as I do here. And good people like Chris Roloff and Mike Carbone and Stu Epperson, who own these radio stations, Ryan, my producer, my moral support, and Jill and Randy King, and, of course, my family, my wife, and my loved ones who help make this ministry possible. And for you listening, thank you. You make it all worthwhile. When we come back, what makes it worthwhile to help Marengo? I think you're going to know that in about 10 minutes here on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart, and it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you. 10 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News. And then Michael Mudloff from Westkirk Presbyterian Church and True Blue. I'm J. Michael McCoy. My guest is Jeff Jorgensen. He is from Marengo. I just found out during the break he is retired military, so thank you for serving, sir.
You're welcome.
And he is a stay-at-home dad to a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. Is that right?
Yes.
Boy, girl, girl, boy, boy, boy,
A
girl.
daughter and a son.
Okay, girl, boy. Girl's older.
Yes.
She help?
Much.
Big help?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. You always have girls first, you know. I didn't.
That was our plan.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. God, please give me. And Jeff just said something interesting. Now, he's from Marengo, which is over between Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. And his community lost a major employer. A fourth of the population was employed there. And it has, can I use the word devastated?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Devastated their community. And, you know, for those of us old folks, and I don't know what that age means. I'm 55. I'll be 56 this year. I don't feel old. My heavens, my mother-in-law's 91. My parents are still in their mid-80s. But I guess I say old because this old earth is changing. Our main streets are changing. Our communities, the trust, the safety that we feel in our communities is changing. My mother never worried about me hopping on my 5-speed Stingray and tearing up and down the streets of Beatrice, Nebraska, that I would be hurt. And when the lights came on the street, I came home because that's what I was supposed to do. You never worried about walking into a department store and having somebody come in and kill you and then turn around and kill themselves. It wasn't even personal. That's just what they chose to do. Whole schools being shot up. Bombs being placed by marathons and football games. It isn't the main street we grew up with. But you know, there are places like that left. Maybe you live in one of those little towns. Maybe that town of Boone is that way. Not changed much by time. Oh, a few things that are different. But Marengo, frozen in time, just a great little farming community, right?
Yep.
And you're asking people to go to, now what's the link? Do you have the link there, Ryan? Okay. GoFundMe.com/Iowa Valley. And how much are you trying to raise?
The goal we set was $125,000.
All right. And what would you do with that $125,000?
The $125,000 is designed to be put into a business incubator that would then help numerous other businesses start and build from there.
All right. And you feel you've got the population that has the resources to support those businesses.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Where do people work in that town now?
A lot of people have moved to Cedar Rapids or Iowa City, but they're commuting, right? So that's a challenge all in of itself.
Oh, yeah, especially in today's times. Okay, here's what I want to do. Somebody's out there listening and they're an entrepreneur. Maybe they currently own a business or they'd love to start a business in a town like Marengo. Can you tell me a couple of the types of businesses you guys think you need?
Well, Marengo was once the economic center of the Iowa Valley region. The Iowa River is the north border of town. The railroad goes through the south side of town. And then it's also located right on Highway 6, which before the Interstate 80 was a major roadway through town. So
that's Hickman Road for those of you in Des Moines.
So I think the infrastructure is there to support that. The population, is aging just like the rest of America. And people don't want to invest in the people in the community don't have the money or the time or the resources to invest in the businesses, but they're there to support them. So, yeah, I think if somebody wanted to bring in a retail furniture business or a carpet business or, anything that would support the community that the community could support, right?
Do you have a Christian bookstore?
Not yet.
Okay.
When do you want to open it?
Do you have a dry cleaner and a tailor?
We do have a dry cleaner and a tailor.
Okay, good, because that would be one. How about lawn care services?
I think there's private individuals that sort of do that out of their garage, but there's no major name brand, quote unquote, service that would work out of there.
We want homegrown stuff.
The two major employers that are left in the community are Big G Grocery Store.
Okay.
Started by a religious family, still run by the owners. Great grocery store.
Big G stands for God, I take it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, there you go. I knew. How come I figured that out?
And so, it has a grocery store, which is, infrastructure to support a community. And there's a number of churches. And then the hospital is the next major employer. It is a critical access hospital. So it has a number of resources and potential for funding that most hospitals don't have.
Okay.
So, the infrastructure is there to support people that want to come in and start businesses from that point of view.
Now, are you a county seat?
Correct. Yes.
Correct. You're the county seat
of Iowa County.
Iowa County. Iowa County, really?
Yes.
I guess I knew there was a county named that was Iowa. I was a weatherman many lives ago in Waterloo on Channel 7. This was before you had to be a meteorologist and you took things and you stuck them on the wall that looked like a sunshine. But Iowa County, that's right. That is right down there. All right. So a business incubator, which would loan money to businesses, entrepreneurs, who want to start new businesses.
Yes.
What about existing businesses that say, man, if I could just get a $25,000 boost to fix that back wall, I'd be in great shape?
Well, part of the challenge is that the existing buildings in downtown Marengo, if you look at the square, there's an old hotel that used to be the Marengo Hotel, and it was it was the Deuce, which was a big restaurant in town that closed down a while back. And those buildings are deteriorating, right? They've been unoccupied and they're starting to deteriorate. So the challenge I have as an entrepreneur to come in and start a business, I have to first fix up the building or tear it down and start over, which is a huge investment before you even get started.
Yeah.
And so that's the challenge or the hurdle we're really trying to get past, and that's why we need to raise funds in order to help the community.
And I appreciate you coming on. We're running out of time, but here's a suggestion for you. Find somebody that is from Marengo. Maybe they don't live there anymore. They're very well off. They're successful. Ask them to match dollar for dollar. And so if you raise 70, 30, 65,000, you got 125. But if you could get to 125, you'd have $250,000. Sometimes you get some people that'll do that in your communities, and you don't even know they're there. You don't even know they're from there. But you go back into the library and you start to look, and you find out that a famous doctor or a famous inventor or somebody, an author, grew up and went to Marengo. You never know.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. All right. Jeff Jorgensen. I got it right. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
driving all the way over here and coming in. And God bless you. And I hope things just sparkle in Marengo.
Thank you.
That would be awesome. All right. Tomorrow, Frank is back with Bob Montserrat and Joe. And then Thursday, what do I have Thursday? I've got Pastor Bob Devers in on Thursday. We're going to talk about some cool stuff, including we're going to be doing a little seminary work right here on the radio every week and giving you an opportunity to serve. Until I see you again, remember, pick somebody that you don't like, that you've got a resentment against, that you never thought you'd forgive. And tonight, lay that name at the foot of the cross and forgive them, because as you forgive others, you shall be forgiven by our Father. Good day.